To be in your feminine is to feel your emotions and use them as a power. And we're not able to see our emotions as a power until we truly understand where they come from and find a certain way to be grateful, not necessarily for what happened, but what we learned from it and how we were able to elevate our lives and be better because of it. Your body is a temple, but you yourself are a temple to womanhood. Hello, welcome back to Gratitude with Gracie. If you're new here, we're a channel that talks all about uplifting ourselves to live the best versions of our lives that we can. And a big topic that we talk about is divine feminine energy. And this video is 10 daily ways that you can harness your divine feminine energy to live a softer, more receiving, creative style of life. Women are sacred, and their amazing energy to create life and give and nurture is something that not only has been overlooked, but the power of the divine feminine has been hidden and repressed and shamed. To go up against patriarchal systems and to heal deep generational wounds that women in your family have gone through. It's a really sacred, beautiful gift to be able to exercise your divine femininity, and it's really nourishment from your soul. Everyone has a goddess within, and being able to hear her and tune in with her is the best thing that I've ever been able to do for myself. Here are 10 actionable ways that you can get closer to doing the same. Number one is dancing and just being in flow with your body, putting on any music that just gives you energy. It just has a vibe. When I get ready or just throughout the day, if I'm feeling low, I will put on any music that just gives me sort of energy. It's something that gets me going. Music is one of the closest things we have to magic. Just by hearing certain music, we are able to change how we feel, get into different headspace. I'll just put on any sort of music that gives me energy or that I like or makes me feel a certain way or makes it easier to harness the power of divine femininity, just being like that bitch in the easiest way possible, and visualizing what my actual energy is. I'll pretend I can see my energy and I'll think about what color is it, how is it expanding, and I'll just pretend that as I dance around it moves in my body, and it just makes me really like center and feel what my vibrations are. Start by dancing as literally silly as possible and just release any judgment that I might have. It's not something that's supposed to be stressful or great or for anyone. It's something that's for you, that you can just be in tune and be happy and laugh and dance and exercise your body in a really fun way. And number two is journaling, connecting and healing your feminine wounds that we've learned from our mothers and wounds that our mothers have learned from their family, to heal the generational trauma that the feminine spirit goes through, to be suppressed, to have our emotions taken away from us, to have to work really hard to be able to provide for yourself. To be in your feminine is to feel your emotions and use them as a power. And we're not able to see our emotions as a power until we truly understand where they come from and find a certain way to be grateful, not necessarily for what happened, but what we learned from it and how we were able to elevate our lives and be better because of it. Journaling is a really great way to heal those wounds and reflect, and going into different shadow work prompts or ways that we can even just hear ourselves and witness our emotions as they come to us, and putting pen to paper and just having our emotions flow out onto the page and be able to just feel and be without any judgment for ourselves. It's so important to forgive yourself for the time that you didn't show up for yourself, or maybe even other women. Maybe you didn't show up for other people. Take time to just listen to all the different parts of you, whether they come from reasonable places or not. What are they saying, and how can you better hear them out and not be afraid of what they're really deeply trying to tell you? How we can stop running away from our emotions and really sit in them. These different parts of you have something to say, and if they keep coming up and you keep running away, you're not able to truly feel what you're supposed to feel, and that will just continue a cycle of repression and feeling guilty about our emotions, which really give us power. The feminine is emotion, and not being a byproduct of our feelings, but being able to use them as a tool to understand ourselves and what our spirit is trying to say, so we can better enjoy the life that we're living, but also understand where our feelings come from, and as a byproduct, where we come from and who we really are and how we're going to carry ourselves in the future. So look into the shadow work prompts and get a good feel of your roots and your foundations as a human being. If you want to harness feminine energy to be able to receive more, journal about why you feel like you have pushed off certain blessings and why you have blocked yourself in ways that you're receiving. If you want to handle more feminine energy to be more mysterious and not overshare all the time, journal about why you feel like you have the need to overshare. If you want to get what it is to be a divine goddess, what is stopping you from getting there? Number 3 is surround yourself with women that you admire. I worship my friends. I love them so much. I'm so proud of them. I've said it before that if I saw them on TV, I would just think about how great of friends we would be because they're just genuinely amazing women and I want to uplift them. I'm inspired by them. I don't even have to think about divine feminine energy because my friends show it to me, and having women like that will inspire you to connect more to your divine feminine energy. I am able to harness my friends in everything that I'm doing. Try to hang out with women who do inspire you. If that's overwhelming altogether, you can also do this by watching YouTube videos, reading, and just being around women that you're inspired by. And community is so important, not only because you have a circle of support, but you're also fun and just overall excited. Number 4 is get yourself some crystals. Anything that you find aesthetically pleasing and associate with women. Having these things in your home will remind you about what you're trying to cultivate. I would even just write divine feminine energy on my arm or on my thigh or put the sign of Venus just so I can have a visual reminder and remember what I'm trying to cultivate. Women are beauty, and it's not being beautiful for something else, but finding what femininity means to you and harnessing that in a way that just uplifts you. Take it really simple. It's whatever inspires you to be feminine. I like having rose quartz and citrine for love and abundance and cleansing crystals. They're pretty, they're nice to look at. They just make you feel good and help you raise your vibrations. I associate Aphrodite with the divine feminine, being beautiful without having to explain it. She represents being a magnet for all that you desire and just knowing your worth. A lot of pearls or things involving seashells or golden mirrors or anything that makes you feel light and princessy or dark and feminine. It's whatever works for you, whatever you associate feminine energy with. So you're just surrounded by beauty and the energy of women around you. I also like to have flowers around. I'll put roses around, roses in my bath. I have things that invite the senses, like candles or incense going. So you are reminded again to feel and be in the state of being that feminine energy is. Whatever it is, make sure it encourages you to participate in the art of noticing, of being present, of receiving. Tip number 5 is embracing your big feelings. Women are emotional creatures, but that's normally talked about in a really negative sense. Oh, she's so emotional. But our emotions are our gift. And it's really sad that men are taught to suppress their emotions or feel like they're weak because of it. But men who suffer from that tend to put women down, and that cycle continues, and they're not able to feel their feelings. And being feminine is being in tune with your emotions and having them empower you. Give your feelings the attention they deserve. Hold space for them and appreciate them, and know that they are a part of you. You aren't your feelings, but you are able to know your feelings, and you are able to become stronger and grow through them. Listen to what you have to say. There's a reason you're feeling these things. The skill of recognizing your emotions and being able to utilize them is something that takes practice and hard work like anything else. Practice taking time, embracing your big feelings, and use it to your power. Tip number 6 is moving through your hips and visualizing this goddess energy. It might feel silly at first if you're not used to it, but there's a lot of spiritual energy in your womb between your hips, and it's the area of your sacral chakra. And if you're feeling guilt and shame, it's a really good indicator that your pleasure center is out of whack and you can't experience pleasure because you're feeling guilty. If you're feeling nervous about it, you might be someone who would actually really benefit. A lot of creative feminine energy comes from the womb. To be in your feminine is to really feel its being in your body, and having your energy just kind of come from your hips, and visualizing what feminine energy means to you, whether that's more light feminine energy like Aphrodite and Marilyn Monroe, or even that girlhood of Sabrina Carpenter, or whether it be dark feminine energy like Rihanna and Megan Fox or Lana Del Rey. These are feminine, unapologetic women that you can just harness. Whatever woman is divine feminine energy to you, and seeing how it feels in your body come from that sort of energy. And I'm feeling really overwhelmed, having a lot of anxiety. That's a lot of doing energy. Doing energy is too much masculine. So to revert that and swing back into my feminine energy, I will literally just close my eyes and move through my hips. Maybe I'll dance if I want. And if that still doesn't work, I'll try one of these other methods. But it's so easy, so accessible. It's just the way you walk through a room. It's sinking into your own vessel. Tip number 7 is going by your schedule. You don't want to be basing your schedule off of where you're expected from other people and then filling in the gaps for yourself. To be aligned with your feminine energy is going with the highs and lows that you naturally are going to feel. Make every decision that you do and everything that you're doing something that you want to do. Don't base all of your time off of other people's expectations of you. A side tip is to not rush. In the past, I was late to everything all the time, and it ended up being a form of self-sabotage that I didn't even realize, because I would get so nervous. I wouldn't have time to do the things that I wanted to do. I wasn't able to show up for myself fully, and I felt unprepared, and I wasn't happy when I got to my destination. Not to mention all the anxiety and stress that I was getting used to every time I went everywhere. The stress of being late, of not trusting myself, put me in a negative headspace, and it didn't allow me to receive. This is something I'm still working on, because being late has been ingrained in my life since I was a very little girl. But I'm working really hard to not rush and just enjoy my experiences as they come. And that means giving yourself time for success and being realistic about your schedule and the things that you want to do for yourself. Tip number 8 is energy projection. When you walk into a room, think about your aura. What color is it? How far is it extending? And when I am trying to harness more light feminine energy, and I really want to be very magnetizing in the way that I'm a little freaking spot of sunshine and everyone loves it. It's enlightening to other people. When I'm trying to harness more of that light feminine energy and I walk in a room, I imagine I'm projecting my energy in every single corner of the room. Everyone is just naturally delighted and uplifted. It's just this big feeling. It's as if you are a little sun when you walk in, and the room is just brighter and lighter because of you. It is so fun to even just play that character, and you can practice this in coffee shops or grocery stores. It's sort of like playing a role, makes you feel good, and it's just literally that Marilyn Monroe effect. There's that classic story where Marilyn Monroe was in the street and she turned to the guy that she was with and was like, "Do you want to see me become her?" He said yes, and she just flipped an energy switch, and cars started to slow and notice her, and people started to ask for autographs. And that's what feminine energy can sort of look like. That's being magnetized, that's being seductive. Pretending that that is just happening around you as you walk in the room is a fun little way to bring it immediately. Practicing these visualizations will really understand what energy you're giving off and give you a feel for the different ways that you can embody both your light and dark feminine. Tip number 9 is just creating without expectation. Women are creation. Women create life. Women are beauty. So naturally, art is a really great way that we can connect to our divine feminine. Painting like nature or things that remind me of feminine energy is definitely bonus points, but just creating and having no expectation. The whole aspect of feminine energy is experiencing and savoring the moment. When you're able to just create for the sake of it and have no judgment or criticism, we're able to come from that place of self and love and creation. It's a very joyful experience. It's very fun. It's very light. And so just painting or baking or writing or making some sort of creation is a wonderful way to connect to your feminine. Tip number 10 is just really prioritizing self-care, stop doing and just start being. These are all fun tips and tricks, but if we are trying too hard at anything, we stop that being energy. We stop actually harnessing that feminine energy. It might feel uncomfortable at first doing things that we've never done before because growth is sometimes uncomfortable, but it shouldn't feel like a lot of work. At the end of the day, it's just being. Your body is a temple, but you yourself are a temple to womanhood. Treat your body as if you are worshiping the goddess within you. Feed her good foods and take time to do skincare and beauty ritual. You put energy into yourself and you're able to feed off of that energy. But before you can do any of that stuff, it all starts with having a full cup. So fill up your cup by self-care rituals. Take goddess baths and chill on the drinking. Do face masks. Breathe and do nothing else. Feminine energy is just being and taking it step by step. Doing these practices has made me so much more magnetic as a person, and I've really just been able to feel and be, and I do everything in my masculine so I can be in my feminine and just be a state of receiving in this amazing, amazing, beautiful goddess energy that women have and that we all have within us. And doing these practices are a great way to feel more confident and increase your self-worth. Just do what calls to you, and overall remember that being in your feminine is doing what is meant for you. Be and exist in whatever way that means for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and if you want more videos like this, please let me know. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.